Circuit training is a very popular way to lose body fat in a time-effective manner and is often touted as a great way to build muscle. But is this true? Today we're going to explore this notion because, as with anything, you can only really prioritize one thing at a time, and how you design your circuit training program will dictate which area you're emphasizing more, fat loss or muscle growth. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, circuit training is when we do 5 to 10 different exercises in a row with little or no rest in between. Once you finish these exercises, typically you'll repeat the circuit 1 or 2 more times. How many exercises you choose or how many times you do the circuit is based on how much time you have to train. While the exercises you choose might seem pretty random, this is how I like to set up mine. Typically I use dumbbells, but you could use bands, a suspension trainer, kettlebells, or body weight. You want to pick a series of compound movements with at least one that focuses on the lower body like squats, one for the push chain like push-ups, and then a pull exercise like rows, and something for the core that is active. What I mean by this is when you put together a fat burn circuit, you want to keep your heart rate up. Exercises like the plank give our cardio system a break, so it wouldn't be the best choice. Something like V-ups would be much better. My dumbbell Tabata workouts that I do on this channel work well focusing on these 4 movements or a combination of them. An example of a combination would be a squat and press, where you're combining a lower and upper body push movement. If your goal is to put together a fat loss circuit, then it makes sense that your 5th exercise would be cardio focused. This could be sprints, jump rope, jumping jacks, or burpees, just to name a few examples. These exercises can be done in timed intervals or based on a certain number of reps. The 2 most common timed intervals I use are Tabata style, which is 20 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest, or I'll go with the longer work time of 40 seconds with 20 seconds rest. When basing your exercises on a certain number of reps for fat loss, the number of repetitions in a given set can be as low as 10 reps, but I like to keep mine high in the 15 to 20 rep range. As soon as you finish the required number of repetitions, you move to the next exercise. As with timed intervals, you might have a brief rest in between each exercise. If you're going to take a longer rest, the best time to do it is right after you finish the circuit and before you start the next round. But typically, I wouldn't rest any more than 2 minutes. This will give you a good fat burning workout that will help preserve muscle mass while losing weight. It might even build a little muscle. But when it comes to muscle growth, here's the problem. Because we have such short rests in between each exercise, we end up fully exhausting our cardiovascular system before we've exhausted the muscle. This doesn't mean we can't use circuit training to build muscle, but we do have to adjust the way we do the circuit to shift the focus from fat burning to muscle growth. The first thing we need to do is allow ourselves more rest between exercises. I like 45 seconds to a minute, although I have done longer. Then we need to increase the weight and reduce the number of reps. Again, I've seen reps as low as 3 to 6 programmed, but I find that too low and prefer the 8 to 12 rep range. You want to find a weight that brings you close to failure by the last rep of each exercise. This might mean you'll have to change your weights or have a few dumbbell setups on the go. It's key to keep your exercises simple. With a fat burn circuit, an alternating dumbbell clean and press makes sense. It's going to rev up your heart rate, and you're not using a heavy enough weight to risk injury. Now that we're switching the emphasis to muscle growth, it's better to separate the movements. Each is their own exercise. Don't get me wrong, your heart rate is still going to be elevated, and you're going to be burning fat, just not as much. With the trade-off being, you'll build more muscle. To build muscle, we have to make this workout progressive. So we got to concentrate on making sure over time we're adding weight or increasing the number of reps we do. Another interesting thing you can do is split your circuit into an upper and lower body. Do an upper body one day and lower the next. The best way to program your exercises for the upper body is to alternate push and pull compound movements, and for the lower body, alternating anterior and posterior chain exercises. This is one place where I'll often alternate an isolation exercise with a compound movement, just to give our overlapping muscles, like our lower back, more rest to prevent injury. For example, starting with squats, then going to hamstring curls, or Romanian deadlifts to leg extensions. Doing circuit training in this way helps to rev up our metabolism and burn more calories, but exercise alone isn't the only thing we need to do. Watch this video next for nutrition tips on how to better lose body fat and increase muscle growth. That way, we can keep working out while having fun. This is Lawrence from Fit and 50. We'll talk to you again in the next one.